Hi, I'm Scott with Tolo. We just want to give you an update on our Indiegogo campaign that everyone helped out with. Everyone did a fantastic job. We were able to get a lot of work done. We've started building the process. We've cleared the ground, broke ground this weekend to make our first Eva's greenhouse. And all your contributions, we want to thank everyone so much for everything you've done and show you how to set up the pots that you got. All right, so today we're going to go over how to set up your vertical towers in either an aquaponic, hydroponic, or just regular soil system. We have everything here to show you how to get going. Things you'll need, if you're doing soil farming, you'll need some organic soil. You're going to need a hammer if you're planning on doing things in the ground, and a knife to cut your coconut coir. Here we have a big brick of coconut coir that can be used for hydroponic or aquaponic applications. A bucket of hydroton, which is expanded clay pellets, which is perfect for aquaponic operations. We usually mix the hydroton with a little bit of coconut coir, and we'll show you how to do that. We have the vertical pots that if you got the Humble Gardener package, it will come just like this in a 3 package. The chain and the water barriers are in here. We'll show you how to set all that up. And this is just a bigger stack that we have, and we'll show you how to set those up on poles if you got the larger packages. We got some strawberries here and a mixing bin, and we're going to get started. We're going to start off showing you how to set up your pots with the coconut coir, how to mix it with the hydroton, and just how to get it prepped. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. Now, the coconut coir comes very compressed, and we're just going to be using a little bit of this. This brick would expand to fill an entire wheelbarrow, which will do about 4 vertical towers of 6 pots each. So it's very, very compacted, very useful stuff. We're just going to cut a little bit out today because we're only doing a few pots. Any old knife will do. It's very, very strong stuff, so be careful you don't cut yourself. If it's giving you a little trouble, don't be afraid to use the hammer. It'll just peel right off. Now the coconut coir, or peat, is just compressed coconut husk. It's all natural, it's all organic. They shred the coconut husk into a fiber and a powder, which it makes a great additive for your soil. The organic soil we have over here has some coconut coir in it. It's added to it to make it a little bit more loamy, make it better for your roots to expand, and it helps with the cation exchange so the plants can absorb nutrients better. We're going to go ahead and stick this one in the bucket and show you how this stuff works. We've got our water, and to expand this stuff, and this is the fun part, it's just like those little bath toys we used to have as a kid. You pour it on your coconut coir, adding as you go, and you'll be able to see that it'll expand quite a bit. I'm going to break this up a little bit to speed the process up. Coir will absorb 600 times its weight in water. You'll want to make sure that the coir is nice and broken up. There's no chunks left over in it. Try not to add too much water. It's kind of hard to do. It won't hurt if you do. Just makes it a little easier to work with. And this looks pretty good. As you can see, that little piece of coir will fill up quite a lot. It expands quite a bit. Let's get it into the pots. We're going to put some water on our strawberries. We'll let them get a little dry. Just make the process a little easier for transplanting, get them moist. The soil that we have in this, we're unsure of what it is, but the local nursery told us that should primarily be an organic soil. They don't think there's any artificial fertilizers added to this. There is fertilizer in the soil, but it was all naturally derived, and that's what we're operating based off of. Due to that, we won't be using these strawberries in our aquaponics setup because of the artificial fertilizers. But if you're doing soil or hydroponics, that's fine. We're going to go over our vertical pots. If you got the smallest package, the Humble Gardener, it's just a stack of 3 pots. Everything larger than that, we're in increments of 3. So everything you will get 3 pots, a base plate, and then a hanging chain. With each of the 3 pots, there's also a mesh that helps create the zone where the water will continue to wick things up, which is why they call them self-watering planters. You have to water it yourself, but you can reduce your watering time significantly with these. All right, after fighting with the tape, take a look at the base plate. We had some questions about this. The instructions say to insert the lugs, and there's these 3 little spots right here. I'm going to take these pots over here. On the bottom of the pot, there are little inserts and some dog hair. All you do is simply place in the bottom like this so you can see the lugs and give it a twist. Now it's on there securely. We're going to go ahead and take it off so we can run the chain. So to set it up, you take one of your water separators, bring your chain. I like to go through the top. It's a little easier to work with. A water separator, another pot. And just go right through. With this chain, you can get about 4 pots on there. If you want to go higher and do more pots, you can. You would just need to buy another chain with a connector on it. Now here, once you've got the pots strung through with the chain, you'll take your base plate, slide it along the link, like so. And that just sits just like that. Drop that down in there. You can see that extra link is just going to hang out there. Take your base plate, line it up. You can see these are going clockwise direction. They're a little offset. So we're going to put our lugs on the sides where they will lock in. So line that up, give it a twist, and it's on there. Now I can flip this over. Oop, off the plate. Elevate our pots. And they're set up. Now they're ready to be planted. You can see the watering base plate in there. I'm not sure if the light catches it, but you can see a dark layer through here that'll become the water reservoir, and that makes it so you don't have to water as much. The lower plate also acts as a catch for you. So if you've got these hanging inside, it's not going to make a mess. Nice to put on your porch. If you're using a pipe and putting these in the ground, it's a little different and you won't be using the plate. But for now, we're going to set these up and get some strawberries in. We have 36 strawberry plants here that we just got from our local nursery. And we're going to set them up in these pots using the coconut coir, and then we'll do some with the hydroton. We're going to do a mix later with the organic soil and the coir, but for now we're going to set these up in a way that can be used for hydroponic or aquaponic. So we'll start. We've set the chain up already, and we're just going to pull it out the side here. I like to fill the pots up to this line on the inside. That way you've got a little extra room. You'll notice this coir is very, very loamy. If you're using aquaponic or hydroponic, the nutrient solution is just going to flow down through the coir. And since it's so porous, it'll go right down to the next pot. And then either back to your fish tank or your nutrient tank. To plant, take 2 fingers, just make a little hole. We're going to be doing 1 strawberry per node. I call these nodes. You can do 2 plants per node, depending on what you're growing. We'll start with some strawberries here. I've already gotten them loose a little bit. I like to just use a knife, reach in, and pull them out. Stick them down that hole, just like so. Bury them down to the base of the leaf. It'll reroot there. And there you go. Since we're going to be using this in a hydroponic or aquaponic setup, I'm trying not to pull all of the soil out, because that's just going to be in our way. Now, since we got these from the nursery, they've got their own soil with fertilizer in it. Normally, if we've seeded it ourselves, we would have seeded it in the coir, so there wouldn't be a mixture. And coir is very good for getting your plant starts. And now we'll move on to the next ones. We filled up the other 2 pots with coir. As you can see, the moisture in the coir is already starting to water our strawberries. Now that we've got this all filled up, we're a little low here. We'll go ahead and plant the other strawberries. When they're hanging on the chain, it makes it really easy to rotate them to get proper sunlight wherever you're planting them. We'll go ahead and get this ready. Again, I'm just going to poke holes in each one of the nodes. Nine strawberry plants on 1 square foot. You can hang this from an awning or an easement. See, it's light enough to hold out with one hand. All right, now we're going to mix up some hydroton with some coconut coir. And we found this application works best for an aquaponics setup because the coconut coir absorbs quite a lot of water and the flow is a little slow, where the hydroton doesn't absorb any water and it flows straight through. Normally hydroton's used in an ebb and flow system where the water fills up and then drains after it gets to the top or whatever level you set it at. The mixture for the vertical pots we found works out great to get that nice even flow so the plants and the bacteria have enough time to process the nutrients, the ammonia out of the water so they can strip it clean of the nitrates and let it go back to the fish tank. We do about a 1-to-1. We're running out of daylight today, so we'll just be doing as much as we have here. This creates an excellent, very arid soil where the bacteria can live across the ammonia to nitrites and nitrates. So we've gone ahead and filled up the pots with our hydroton coconut coir mix. We opted not to use the chain on this setup, so you can see how easy it is to just set it on the ground. Normally, using this method, we would be hanging these from a series of vertical towers in our greenhouse that would be going back down to a fish tank. For now, we just wanted to show you how this works out. So just like the coconut coir, just stick your fingers down in there. It's a little tougher to do this time, but the concept's the same. All right, now we're going to go ahead and set this up in just some regular old potting soil. For this setup, we're going to put the towers on a vertical pole we have here. I'll show you how you can set these up in your outdoor garden. Works really good in a raised bed or just on its own. All right, so to set these up outside in a vertical system, what we're going to want to do is get a piece of 3/4 inch EMT conduit. Now, if you use the 3/4 inch, it's going to be a little bit more stable. The holes in the pots, however, only have a 1/2 inch hole in them, so you can use 1/2 inch EMT. We use 3/4 inch because it's a little more stable, but you have to drill out the hole to make it fit. First thing you want to do is take this. We've cut it to 5 foot 5 inches, as we've measured out how many pots we want on it, and that's the height we determined. You're just going to want to go ahead and tap it down to the ground. We've cut another pipe, so we know how high we want it to be. Now we've taken a 1/8 piece of PVC pipe and we've cut it to about 18 inches for our desired height. Now the other option here is to drive it into a 5-gallon bucket full of soil and rocks that'll also be stable enough to hold your vertical pots. Here we have our pots, and these we'll show you. We've drilled the hole out in the center so that it'll fit the 3/4 inch pipe. Setting the pots up is real easy. There you go. A lot of people like to use an additional pot. I don't have one drilled out yet, but you can put a top pot to put some more flowers in on the top. I recommend about a 6-inch pot up here. All right, so now that's all that's left is just to transplant our strawberries into our pots. Keep in mind, you can put flowers, a variety of vegetables, whatever you want in these. With these vertical pots that we have right here, we just put some organic potting soil in here so we can transplant these right in with no worries. I'm gonna go ahead and prep it. Again, just using 2 fingers to make some holes. It's real nice and easy. You can walk around it, or you can just twirl the pots. And it'll slowly drip down to all your plants. Now remember, you usually want to transplant your plants in the early morning so they get a full day of sunlight to help deal with the shock. We unfortunately didn't have that option today, so we'll be taking these guys inside tonight. I hope you enjoyed our little tutorial video on how to set up our awesome vertical planters. We'll have a lot more like it coming in the future, along with DIY pallet projects and all sorts of things you can do around the garden or the home. We really appreciate everyone's help with our Indiegogo campaign. It's made all of this possible. We're primed and ready to build our first Eva's greenhouse, which will be able to do year-round production. And over here, the larger projects start to take shape. Well, we have 14,000 square feet of rich, fresh soil that hasn't been touched in years. Well, we'll be growing an abundance of produce throughout the year, and then later expanding onto the 20 acres of land to bring you year-round produce in any climate, anywhere. And that, thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.